Okay, I think if you look at broadly, there are sort of four varied challenges that enterprise or organizations are facing today. One is sort of pretty apparent. One thing that is sort of very very obvious is the growth of data. It's a significant explosive growth of data that is there with the organizations. That is one. Second is if you have to look at the expectations within, if you look at it within the organization, there is a business side of the organization and there is a technology side who sort of manages the IT infrastructure and process. The expectations of the business side has sort of changed dramatically over last 10 15 years. They now expect that data to be available online 24 hours. They expect data to be secured. They expect that the applications can be accessed, corporate applications can be accessed from anywhere at any point in time, because they want to make those quick, responsive business decisions to stay ahead of the competition. So that is the other challenge. Third, if you look at from a pure infrastructure side, 15 years back, 20 years back, infrastructure used to be just brick and mortar. So you had this physical servers, physical storage, physical tape drives, and all entirely it's completely housed in a brick and mortar data center. But today you have a mixed sort of a workload. You have physical data centers, then you have infrastructure which are virtualized. Virtualization is great for the evolution of the technology, surely, but it also brings a set of challenges for the IT administrator or the CIO to manage. That's one. The last bit of the challenge is obviously this entire paradigm of cloud. So how and where you want to utilize or leverage cloud to optimize your infrastructure to make your infrastructure efficient. And if you want to sort of go in slightly detail with all this, what does it mean when I say of growth of data and data to be available online? Just to relating back to sort of the solution area that I represent within Dell, which is more towards data availability, data recovery, data backup. Effectively, what it means is that you really don't have a scheduled backup window. So let me explain that in slightly more detail. Is that 15 years back, organizations used to work from 9 to 5. The servers used to be up, system used to be up. At end of 5, systems will go offline. They will update their MIS reports, and from night 8 o'clock, they will start the backup. And they will back up all the data till the morning 6 o'clock. But today, one is data has grown significantly, so you have more data to back up. That means you need more time. But at the other end, the business side of your organization is expecting what? They expect the data to be available online. They want the data to be available 24/7. So effectively, you have no backup window. So you need to really figure out within your infrastructure and to the infrastructure that you have invested over the last 10, 15 years, is that scalable and efficient enough to meet this new challenge of optimizing your backup and recovery window in line with the business requirements. And to add to that, you have the complexity of managing different infrastructures, which is physical and virtual. Now, virtual infrastructure is different. Physical infrastructure, you can back up, in a technical term, you can back up files, you can back up databases, you can back up in a very rudimentary format, or you can back up in simple formats. In virtualized environment, you actually back up images. You take the snapshot from the hypervisor level and take a backup from as an image. So effectively what it means, it takes more time to back up because you're backing up images, and it also means that the recovery time is also longer because you're restoring the images. So it means that you need to have two different sort of expectations of data recovery times for both sort of environments. And then last is the cloud bit. So do I outsource everything to cloud? Do I outsource my entire backup and recovery to cloud? Do I outsource my entire DR to a service provider? What are their SLAs? Can they guarantee me that sort of recovery time that I am looking for? These are the other challenges. So that are the sort of the background to all those four broad challenges that the CIO today grapples with. So from our perspectives, if you look at our point of view within Dell Data Protection, is basically broadly operates on three sort of objectives. One, we want to sort of eliminate the complex process that organizations today face in backing up and recovering data. So we want to make the process very simple, because if you have to look at it realistically, backup and recovery is a very important back end process for an IT. And you don't want to make that process very complex. You want that process to be automated, self-managed, easy to run, easy to manage. So we want to make it very simple. Second is, we don't want the customers to make compromises between cost and downtime. I will just explain a bit. Now, for example, your expectation is that my system should be up 100%. 100% of the time it should be uptime. But if you have to look at realistically, if you have to make a system which is 100% uptime, the infrastructure cost might sort of blow out. You need to have a massive infrastructure to ensure the 100% uptime. So you need to achieve a balance between that 100% uptime to 100% downtime. You need to achieve a balance in between, considering the amount of cost that you want to incur for the amount of data that you want to save. So we want to ensure that customers achieve that balance. And third is we want to ensure that the customers are not complacent. I'm not saying that customers are complacent. I'm saying customers should not feel too comfortable that disaster recovery will work every time. We want to ensure that we build an infrastructure which will actually work when you need it most. So that's from a broad from a differentiation or value proposition from our perspective. But if you just go deeper into the solution set, we offer sort of multiple solutions based on two things. One, all data or all applications that you have in your organization is not equal. In the sense, it's not equal in terms of value to your business. Okay, so every data or every application has to be treated differently because that has different values for your business. What it entails, it means that you will have different recovery time and recovery point objectives within each of that data or application depending on its value to the business. Second is, how do I ensure that my backup and recovery solution aligns with those recovery SLAs based on the value of the data to the businesses? So I have different solutions to align to those different sets of data depending on their value to the business. So that's how I position my solution, and that's what Dell brings to the table. So, in fact, interesting was I was yesterday in Bombay and I was talking to quite a few customers. And one thing came out very clearly is that customers treat backup and recovery and disaster recovery very seriously. They clearly understand the criticality of disaster recovery preparedness. They critically understand that data is the new currency for business. And if they lose data and information, they are in serious risk of getting their businesses impacted. So they truly invest on that. But what probably customers sometimes probably look at is that, or probably sort of sometimes overlook, is that do I have the right solution for the right data sets, and is my SLAs or is my recovery SLAs aligned to what the business requirements are? For example, I'll just give you an example. You have a mission critical data set. You have a business critical data set. I'll differentiate between both. Mission critical data means if you lose that data, business stops. Business critical, yes, it's important, but you can still run your businesses. That's the difference. What you effectively need to have, that means there is a recovery time or recovery point in a mission critical data is different from a business critical. Effectively in recovery time, you need recovery in minutes. In business critical, you can probably wait for a couple of hours. Now I need to look at, do I have this one solution which can do both, or do I need to look at best of breed in both these areas and have two different sets of solutions? That's what Dell's positioning is, that you need to look at best of breed solutions based on your data types and based on their value to the business. That's sometimes I feel that customers tend to look at only one solution or a single platform to do everything, which sometimes is challenging. But otherwise, from an awareness, from a sensitivity perspective and from their preparedness perspective, I think Indian customers are very well aligned to what the global practices are. See, so traditionally, if you look at within our business portfolio, we had the traditional channel model where we used to talk to focused system integrators who operate in the data center space, who provide data center services to customers, and sort of had a go to market with those system integrators, and that we tend to follow it even today. We sort of work with a lot of the regional territory based system integrators who has expertise in data center build, data center support, data center services, business continuity planning, business continuity implementation for their customers. And it could be enterprise, it could be mid-market, it could be even small and medium business. The other piece that is coming through is, one important thing is that you now in India, you have this lot of the global system integrators, which are like people like Wipro, TCS, Infosys, who are actually doing global deployments. They actually manage global customers, even remotely sometimes manage it from India itself or basically on site. So that's the other route that we are talking to. We are talking to these global system integrators to sort of ensure that they build their entire solution practice on business continuity and disaster recovery, and sort of incorporate Dell solutions as part of the platform. So that is the other piece. Third, if you look at Traditionally, backup as a service from a service provider or disaster recovery as a service from a cloud provider has been there for some time now. You can keep on hearing from people talking about it, like an Amazon or a Rackspace, or even Indian MSPs like Sifi and NetMagic. They all talk about it. But if you look at it from an overall market perspective, it is still very small. Backup as a service still comprises very small portion of the overall backup and recovery market. We believe that over the next 3 years, that will become a significant market. Lot of customers will actually move either their primary backup to the cloud or the disaster or the backup of the backup to the cloud, and they will look at recovery from the cloud itself. So we believe that that will become another important channel ecosystem, if you may call that, MSPs and cloud providers to providing backup as a service and disaster recovery as a service. And to add that, what we are doing from a product perspective with this year, and that what you will see over the second half of the calendar year, is that a lot of the product refresh that we will do, the new version that will come up, will have those significant enhancements to align with the MSPs and cloud providers to provide those disaster recovery as a service. So our products will be more aligned to that sort of service providers also. It's not that it's not today, but it will get more advanced and more enhanced to align with that. So we believe this sort of three routes to the market: the traditional system integrators, the global system integrators which handle global deployments, global clients, and at the third end is the service providers and the cloud providers. That will be broadly the three channel routes that Dell would explore to drive our solutions forward.